everyone, I am back with another card making video. This is a Stampin' Up card where the majority of everything on this card is Stampin' Up. So, I still don't have a huge variety of different colors of ink and such from them. I'm still collecting slowly, so I do have some of the Christmas colors that match the paper pack Season of Style. And I recently purchased the markers, so I do have those also. There's three things that are not Stampin' Up on this card. And this is the card that I'm going to make today, only it's with a different pattern of paper. So the ink that I used around my sentiment is a Memento ink, and it's Toffee Crunch, because I do not have the crumb cake ink from Stampin' Up to match this paper yet. And then this ribbon right here is not Stampin' Up, it's just some tan ribbon out of my stash. And then this image is not Stampin' Up. This is actually just a free printable poinsettia image that I got from Google and just resized it and printed a whole sheet of them out. And then there are some stickles on here. So this is the card that I'm going to make on camera today for you. Only I'm going to use, like I said, a different pattern paper. I'm going to use these polka dots. And these are from the Season of Style paper stack from Stampin' Up. And I'm going to use Old Olive cardstock. This is the Old Olive. My base is not Stampin' Up. This is just Georgia Pacific white cardstock that you can get at Walmart. I've colored my image, and let me show you. I have some that are colored and then some that are partially colored. This is what the image actually looks like, but I didn't color these little circles here because I cut this out. This is what it looks like with just the green. And the markers I used to color this are these ones. I used the Old Olive, and I used Cherry Cobbler. I think this is Real Red. It's just Real Red. Then I used Crushed Curry and Dandelion Delight. So inside the petals of my little poinsettia here, I used the Cherry Cobbler to basically outline my petals, and then I used the Real Red to color the inside. And I did the same with the little yellow parts in the middle. I didn't do it with the green because these black lines are so defined. So that's how I colored it. I may do a coloring video with Stampin' Up markers sometime soon because they're really cool. They're not alcohol-based markers. They are water-based dye ink markers. So it took me a minute to get used to those because I'm used to the alcohol ones. But I really like the way that they color. So I'll probably do a video on that. So this is going to be the main focal point of our card along with our sentiment. So let's go ahead and get the inside of this card done. So my mat for the inside of the card, these little polka dots, is 3 3/4 by 5. So that's going to go there. And then I have a smaller mat that is 3 by 4. And then I cut an index card. I'm going to use the blank side. And I cut that down to 2 3/4 by 3 3/4. So I'm going to ink it with some Cherry Cobbler ink. Grab my little sponge here. So I'm going to ink that just around the edges. So just like that. Now I'm going to go ahead and attach that to my little green mat. So I'm just going to center that on here. And then we're going to attach that to the polka dot. And then all of these layers will be done. Just like that. Now we're going to go ahead and attach this to the inside. And I have a little stamp that I'm going to use on the inside. It is not a Stampin' Up! Stamp. It's actually a Heidi Grace stamp from a Christmas set. So just like that. And it's these little holly leaves. I'm going to use some Color Box pigment ink. I've tried using dye ink with this stamp and it doesn't stamp as well. And I think my pad is getting kind of dried out. So it's not as black as I would like it to be. But I'm going to fix that after I do a little bit of coloring on this. I'm going to, oops, zoom in for you guys. Okay, I'm going to take my old olive and I'm going to just color these leaves. And then as you can see, it kind of blends in with the black ink that I stamped because it's not very opaque. It's kind of wearing out, but I'm going to fix that in a minute. I'm going to take the cherry cobbler and just go over these little spots of the berries. Then I'm going to take my basic black and I'm going to go ahead and just outline where I stamped so it's a little more defined and you can see it better. And I am using the brush tip for this. I probably should have used the other one, but that's okay. So that is what the inside of the card will look like. So now we oh, my nose. Now we're going to work on the outside of the card. So I'm going to go ahead and attach my mat. So my ribbon is going to go on my patterned paper. I can go ahead and attach this. We're just going to center this on here, just like that. And then the ribbon I have is just kind of a dark burgundy red, just out of my stash of ribbon. So I'm just going to put this on here really quick and see where my ribbon needs to be in order for all of this to fit. Go up just a little bit more. I'm just going to tape this on the back just with some regular Scotch tape. Just like that. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach this to the front. So we're just going to go ahead and center this onto the old olive mat that I have down. So just like that. Okay, now we're going to stamp our sentiment, and our sentiment is coming from the Joy to the World clear stamp set I have, and I'm going to use this one here, Christmas Wishes. And we're going to stamp that with the Cherry Cobbler. Make sure it's nice and covered. Okay, so I've already cut my piece for my sentiment. Press down. There we go. There is that. So this measures, what is this? This is 3 by 1 1/8. So this is 3 1/8 by 1 1/4 to map my sentiment on. Oh, before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and use the same Memento ink. This is the Toffee Crunch. And I'm gonna ink my edges of my sentiment really quick. There we go. Just gives it a little bit more color. I'm going to attach this to my little mat. Just like that. Then we're going to pop up the poinsettia on the front. So I'm just going to use these 1/2 inch dimensionals. I put about 4 of them on here so my petals won't look funky. Okay, so this, sticking to me, is going to go like this right here. And then I'm also going to pop up my sentiment with a few of these 1/4 inch dimensionals here. Oops. Okay, so now I have my sentiment that is matted. I'm going to go ahead and center that on the front, push down on those little squares. So there we have almost completed card. I'm going to add some stickles, and I used yellow and Christmas red. So let's do the yellow ones first. And I just kind of did a dab right in the center of each of these for the yellow. And with my red, I just kind of did some dots all over the petals so it would dry faster. So it's not perfect, but when it dries, it's got that touch of sparkle that I wanted it to have. And it doesn't take forever to dry since I'm not covering the entire petal with the stickles. So as you can see, it only takes a couple seconds to just put some on the petals. Got a little heavy there. Okay. So, even though that one's wet, so there we have the completed card. Whoops, gotta go the other way. So there's that one. Here's the first one that I finished. And as you can see, the stickles are just, they're really sparkly. There we go. They're still really sparkly, but they're not covering the entire petal. So they do dry a lot faster this way. So there's that one and that one. A couple more Christmas cards that I can say I have gotten done. And if you just Google printable poinsettia, free printable poinsettia, this one will probably come up. It was like one of the first few that showed up in the images, and then you can just go save the image and print as many as you want. And I usually do my printing in WordPad. I just bring it in as a picture and I can resize it. So I had printed off a whole sheet of those. I got 6 on one sheet of an 8.5 by 11 and just started coloring them. So don't know if I'll make all 6 cards out of these or not, but I thought it was really pretty, and it was a good way to use up my Stampin' Up! Paper. So if you guys have any questions or anything like that, just let me know in the comments or message me. I will put the link to my store for my Stampin' Up! Website, and you guys can come shop with me. There's still time to get some Christmas stuff. So I will see you all in my next video. Bye!